Hello, hello, hello. Happy Saturday. Okay, I did this last time and I got to make sure that I don't step in and out because that's what was causing that to happen where it was coming in, coming out. I might have to just sit down and handle that today. How are we feeling? How are we doing? Happy Saturday. Audio's coming in good. Hopefully you guys can see me okay. I can see me, but unless it's broadcasting, I have no idea. And then the other thing that I wanted to make sure that we did is, so something different that's been happening over the last couple of live streams, this one and the previous one, is I've been using a new text messaging service, which has its pros and cons. So one of the drawbacks is that it's not able to send all of the texts at once. Well, it can if I wanted to, but they have like a little notification that says this might get counted as spam, et cetera, et cetera. So like last Saturday when I sent the text messages out, they got delivered over the next several hours. And like I got a text message because I'm on my own text list. So I got the message that came like 2 hours later that was like, hey, I'm live now. And I'm like, oh, well, that's why, we didn't have the same number of people who showed up. So I'm still going to be working with the new system. It's a lot easier to manage because whenever you guys have questions or if there's something that you need help with, if you reply back to that number, it actually comes directly into our dashboard, into our CRM. So it's a lot easier. But yeah, let's go ahead and get started. If this is your first time here, give me a hey, give me a hi, and let me know where you are joining me from. I still have a hard time believing that our YouTube audience is just 3 people. So normally we have like 40, 50, 60 people on right at the start. So I'm assuming it's because of the text, but it's all good. We will keep moving. So before we get started, I do need to make sure that I need to get some sort of comment, some sort of hi, some sort of hello, so that I know that I'm not just here talking to myself. Because if it's just me, then I do have other stuff that I could be doing. I'd have a workout that I still have to do today, so we can do that. But if I'm here with other people, which it looks like I am, then I need to see some comments. So give me a hi, give me a hello, say hi. I'm not the only one that is here in this room. So we'll just hang out here until we get the first couple of comments, or we notice that maybe something is not working right. So let me go to the back end area here and see if it's actually working. Let's see. Oh, it says chat is disabled for this live stream. See, I knew there was something wrong. All right, so I don't know how to make that work while we're in here. Maybe I can edit it. Oh, it says made for kids. It's not made for kids. Okay, well, that's what happened. Okay, so let's see. No, it's not made for kids. Okay, good. So now you should be able to chat. Okay, the chat is working now. All right, there we go. All right, I just commented, so now I can see that the chat is working. It's coming in. Hi, Mary. Okay, good. See, those are the comments coming in from Facebook. All right, and then here's my comment that I just typed in that came in from YouTube. You see, you never know, and this is why, this is a huge, huge, huge reason why it's perfect for today's topic, a huge reason why we're going to be covering number 3 in the 5 easy strategies to increase your conversions. Oh my gosh, I could not have planned that better. I did not plan that. I do need to make a note for my assistant so that she makes sure to verify and double check the thing that says, no, it's not made for kids. Hello, Darrell. Because on YouTube, if you set your video to made for kids, YouTube automatically turns off several things in addition to live chat if you're doing a live stream. So we're good on that now. Okay, I see the messages coming in. That's like much better. I feel really good now. I got the energy coming. You notice that my energy started dropping a little bit, right? I was like, am I just here in this room by myself? Like I cannot perform like that. Okay. So we're good now. All right. So if this is your first time here, tell me your name. Let me know where you are joining me from. My name is LaTisha Styles. I am a stubborn believer in manifestation, and I'll talk more about that in a second. I broadcast every Saturday at 12 p.m. Eastern. I teach everything from how to make high ticket sales and attract clients to raising your rates and having the confidence to stick to those rates. We also cover low ticket sales, creating cash on demand, and putting automated funnels in place, because every coach needs a bit of passive income, right? If you want notifications when I go live, just subscribe, click the bell. If you've made a purchase already, then you're on my text list and you'll get a text when I go live. You'll also get access to secret flash sales and special offers because it pays to be a buyer. If you are outside of the US, go to latisha.tv/free. Download any of my free trainings, PDFs, or guides, and you are in there like swimwear. All right, so why am I a stubborn believer in manifestation? Well, not only did I manifest my husband, I manifested my dream job, which is what I'm doing right now, and I'm in the process of manifesting my dream body. I believe that you can create your life, but first you have to decide, because your dreams deserve your decision, and you deserve to achieve your dreams, but only if you decide to do whatever it takes to get them. And that's what we're going to be covering today. Part of that for some of you guys is improving your marketing and improving those things so you can earn more income so that you can, do the other things that you desire in life. Okay, good. LaTisha says, wasn't you, we were here. Thanks for joining from South Jersey. We got lots of LaTishas today. Welcome. Glad to have us all here. All right, so today's session is all about 5 strategies to increase your conversion number. So let's jump into. And I decided to go ahead and sit down. So we got give the desk a second to lower. I just feel like the lighting is also better from this angle. For some reason, when I stand up, well, not for some reason, but when I stand up, the monitors are actually blocking the sunlight that's coming in. So this is much better. All right, so let's go ahead and jump in. Thanks, Daryl, for joining from New Jersey. Okay, so 5 strategies to increase your conversions. We're going to swing through this one fairly quickly until we get to the very end, where we're actually going to be covering conversion numbers and kind of going into that, okay? First thing I have to discuss before we even talk about what are 5 strategies to increase, we had to discuss, well, what is a conversion? So a conversion is when someone specifically takes an action, that action is considered a conversion, okay? So if there's a ad that someone sees and then they click the ad, the click is considered a conversion. If someone signs up for your email list, that email address is considered a conversion. It's when there's an action that happens, and that is considered a conversion. Hey, thanks for joining from Trinidad and Tobago. Glad to have you here. So that is what is considered a conversion. It is when an action is taken. Okay. So we got lots of different conversions. We have clicks. We have, someone providing their email address. We have someone actually making a purchase, which is probably one of the conversions that most people are most excited about, right? Is actually getting that purchase. And so we're going to be talking about that. As far as who does this apply to, it applies to you whether you are, running a coaching or consulting business, or if you have an e-commerce business, or if you're, making any sort of sales online, or, anything where you have to encourage someone to take an action to essentially convert. That is what we're going to be sharing today is going to be helpful for you as well. Okay. Hello, Keisha. Happy Saturday. Glad to have you here. Okay, so 5 easy strategies to increase your conversions. Part of the reason that we're talking about this is because right now enrollment is open for Funnel to Freedom. Funnel to Freedom is all about helping you to create a sales funnel that converts people from the start all the way to the finish. And we'll talk about that more when we get closer to the end of today's training. Okay. All right. Let me ground down. All right. So the very first strategy that you can use to increase your conversions is, number one, to actually know your unique selling proposition. So a lot of times, we want someone to take an action. We want someone to convert. We want someone to, to give us money, right? Like we want to make a sale. We want them to give us an email address. We want them to click. We want them to respond. We want them to comment. We want them to engage. Like there's all sorts of things that we want that person to do. But unless we know our own unique selling proposition, then like what is their compelling reason to take that action? So your unique selling proposition is the thing that sets you apart from everyone else. Now, at the base and at the core, what sets you apart from everyone else is that you are you and no one else is you. However, from a marketing standpoint, what needs to happen in order to, encourage that person to take action, to, make a click, to give you their email address, whatever it is that they have to feel compelled that you are the one to help them with this particular problem that they have, with this particular issue that's happening. So for example, let's say that you have a free offer on, how to get, how to convert. Like my mind is like blanking right now. But let's say you have a free offer on, how to, or Canva strategies or something like that, right? Like how to create a lead magnet using Canva. And there's a lot of people out there that are teaching how to create a lead magnet using Canva. So like, why do I need to give you my email address? Why can't I just maybe go to Google and search how to create a lead magnet using Canva? So that's the very first thing is, know your unique selling proposition and know exactly what sets you apart from everyone else, and not just you, but also what sets your offer apart from everyone else. What sets this click apart from everyone else? What sets this, this free offer, this paid offer, like what sets it apart from everything else that's out there? Because there's a lot of information out there. There's a lot that's already being provided, and you don't want to just be another piece of information out there. You want to have something unique about it. So if you're having a hard time determining your unique selling proposition, I would give you the exercise that I, provide to my clients, which is, first figure out what's unique about you. What are some of the things that you've overcome? What are some things that have happened in your life that, cause you to be uniquely you and be uniquely qualified to help someone with this problem? And then from there, what is it specifically about this particular offer that's going to help the person get results, better, faster, and, more full? And once you can figure that out, then you'll know the unique selling proposition for yourself as well as for your offer. Okay. So that is strategy number one, know your unique selling proposition. Okay. All right. Number two is know your target client and how they speak about their problem. Know your target client and how they speak about their problem. So now that you know why what you offer is unique and why you are unique, now you have to know why your target client is unique. But you also need to know how they speak about their problem. The issue that many new marketers run into, people who are trying to market their services and programs, is that they don't actually listen to the ideal client. At first, they don't have, usually, a lot of times when clients come to me, they're not really very clear on their target client. So that's, sort of one of the first things that we do. But also, secondly, how does that person actually speak about their problem? Okay. And when I say how do they speak about it, I mean literally like what words are they using? So this starts getting you into like the research process of, how are we going to figure out what words are they using? How are we going to, pull those words together later so that we can show them, hey, we understand your problem. We understand what you're going through. But those are two things that you have to know. So if you're not really quite sure who your target client is, and what level of life they're in, or what their age is. A lot of people start with like age. They're like, oh, it's 25 to 35, and they are married, and they're this, that, and the other. But your target client is more than just a demographic, more than just boxes that are checked during a census. Your target client has specific issues that make your target client your target. For example, if I were creating a program, well, I'll just use my program as an example. So when I first came out with my program teaching my marketing method, which is the You've Got Clients method, when I first came out with that program, I knew in particular that the reason that my target clients struggle with marketing is because they tend to identify as an introvert, and they didn't want to do a lot of the traditional extrovert style marketing methods like networking and sending DMs and, going into Facebook groups and, spamming it with their offer. And I knew that they wanted a system that was going to bring people to them. Notice that there was nothing about how old they were, or, where they live, or how many dogs they have. There's nothing like that. It was literally just my target client is uniquely positioned to struggle with this problem because these are the characteristics that they have. Okay. These are the characteristics that they have. Hello, hello, hello. Glad to have you here. So that's the next step that I took when I was trying to even figure out my program and how to increase the conversion rates on my program, is to determine my target client. The way that we do this, the way that I do this with clients, is I'll ask them to, basically write a story of your target client. So if you were to write out a day in the life of that person, like write it out. So my target client, her name is LaTisha. She, she lives in a townhome, and she has blue walls in her office, and she's uniquely qualified to, to convert for this offer because I'm selling a, bucket of paint, and she really wants to paint her walls. And not only that, the offer has a unique selling proposition because I'm also going to provide someone to actually do the painting for her, so she doesn't have to do it. I just came up with that like literally out of the blue. But notice how I'm writing a story of the target client. I'm also weaving in the unique selling proposition. So, hi, Dee Dee, glad to have you here. So when we do, I almost hit end stream, wrong button. When we do unique selling proposition, we typically first do 3 areas. We do business uniques, personal uniques, and personal characteristics, business characteristics, and offer characteristics. So unique there. And then for target client, we do, let's write a story of the target client. And then also we get that client's actual wording. So, there's a research process where you can figure out like, what are people actually saying about your offer or about their problem, right? And how do they actually speak about it? All right. I said we're going to move through these first couple quickly because once we get to the conversion rates, we're going to dig a little bit deeper on those. Third strategy, know if your funnel is broken. So as a perfect example today, I was, started out the live stream, and I'm like, wait a minute, I'm not seeing any comments. I'm asking for comments. I'm asking for a hi. Like, it literally takes 2 seconds for someone to type HI. So why am I not seeing comments? I got my, my steady followers who come back every weekend. Like, you guys are, that I literally don't present until we have a conversation going. So I'm like, what is going on? And, a lot of times this actually happens with, with your business and with your funnel. Like you're moving forward full steam and not even realizing that something might be broken. In this case, it was a setting that was incorrect on YouTube, as you guys know, or if you just came in, the video was set to be safe for children. And when that happens, or when you say it's made for kids, it turns comments off. So I just had to update it so it doesn't say made for kids, and now the comments are working. So with your funnel, a very quick way to increase your conversion rates is make sure that nothing's broken. And so that is, that means going through your funnel yourself. So you should, put your name and email address into your funnel. You should also, make the comment. I'm just looking at the comments. Promise you guys, my brain right now, I don't know what's going on. You should also like go through the process of signing up for your own funnel, make a purchase. There's a way to test it. Usually, depending on the shopping cart that you have, you should be able to test it with like a fake credit card number. And they'll still take you through the process of like, here's what would happen if a purchase is made. But all of those things, like you should be testing each piece. And this is really the reason why I suggest building your funnel in stages, so that at every stage, you're testing each stage and understanding, like, is it actually working? Is everything happening as it should happen? And then even at that point, once you determine, okay, it's happening as it should happen, before we connect the next piece, let's like work on the next piece in its own area, in its own silo. And then let's test that piece to determine, like, is that working as well? Hey, Cheryl, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate that. So those are the initial things that have to happen inside of your funnel. So that's step 3, is to know if your funnel is broken. Like I said, we're going to move through these first couple really quickly. As soon as we get to these conversion rates, we're going to be there for a little bit. Okay. So know if your funnel is broken. That means testing each piece as you go. And then once it's all put together, then testing it from start to finish. So one of the ways that I do this is, obviously I have several, I'm sure a lot of us do, several email addresses, right? So I'll put each of those email addresses through. I'll determine, okay, are the emails coming out when they should come out? I'm also checking on the back end, like logging in, like, are these going out the way that they should go out? When the emails come to me, I'm clicking every single link. Is every single link going where I want it to go, where I intended it to go? Same thing for the sales page. Is the button going where it's supposed to go? Because a lot of times I copy over sales pages, I copy over products, I copy things over. I don't start from scratch every single time, which is what makes it easier and faster for me to implement and to get stuff done. But also that kind of comes with its own caveat, because sometimes I might copy something over and then forget that I need to change the link for a button. And this actually happened with one of my programs. We were like actually just getting ready to send emails out about it. And I went through and I went to the page and I clicked on it and it went to a completely different product. So imagine how much that would like just completely kill your conversion if you're like, wow, I really thought that people were going to appreciate this. And then you go check it and you're like, oh, they weren't even going to the right spot. That's why it wasn't working. Okay. So that's very important to understand. Hey, Sandra. Glad to have you here. Michelle, that's a great question, and definitely one that we can potentially cover on an upcoming live stream, but it's a little bit outside of the scope of this one. Okay. I do have lots of other topics. I'm trying to think of one off the top of my head. I do have lots of other topics for like how to grow your audience, how to get people on your email list, and so on and so forth. So all of these videos that I do as my live streams are saved to my channel. You can just go to the live stream playlist, dive in, and literally it's like Netflix, just binge watch for the next couple days. The live streams are always jam-packed, but I like to stay tight to one particular topic. Okay, good. All right, so now we're moving into strategy 4 and 5. And this is kind of where things slow down just a little bit. Like I said, I kind of wanted to speed us up to get us to this point. But steps, strategy number 1, know your unique selling proposition. Number 2, know your target client and how they speak about their problem. Number 3, know if your funnel is broken. Number 4, know the typical conversion rates. Okay, so I did a lot to pull all of this together for you guys. Okay. So I hope you appreciate this. All right. Click-through rate. So your click-through rate is when somebody sees something and they click it, how many of those people are clicking. So we're going to start, I'm going to make this as simple as possible. We're going to start with 3,000 people who saw your ad and clicked it. Gosh, I got to step back a little bit further even with that. So let's see, 3,000, that would be 30,000, right? Divided by 0.01. Okay, 300,000. Okay. All right, bear with me, okay? I tried to find this on a Kaggle that I did in the past, but I actually, oh, I do, it's right here. Okay. All right, so let me share my screen. because it's going to be a lot easier if you can follow along with me, because this gets confusing really, really fast. Okay. So let me share. I think I can do a Chrome tab. Okay, great. And let me put myself down here. Okay, and close this off. Okay, great. Okay, so we're going to start with, let's move this over. All right. We're going to start here with 300,000. Okay, so 300,000 people potentially saw your, or actually saw your ad. It was showed up in their feed, okay, or saw your whatever, right? And now we're trying to figure out, what should we expect, okay? In general, we want a 1% click-through rate, okay? A 1%, I'm trying to hide some of this other stuff. A 1% click-through rate means of those 300,000 people, 1% actually clicked, and that gave us 3,000 visitors / clicks. Okay. You guys following me so far? 1% click-through rate. Okay. These are typical conversion rates. The next typical conversion rate is your freebie / landing page, which not necessarily typical, but a recommended, and this is the marketing average that I shoot for, is 30%. Okay, so right here we got 30%. This green is killing me. 30% on this landing page. How about salmon? Sound good? Okay, good. Oh, that's way better. I don't know what it is about that salmon color, but it's just like, it's bugging the heck out of me right now. All right, so 30% conversion rate on the landing page for your free offer. Okay, 30% of 3,000 people is going to give us our 1,000 people. Okay, 10% would be 300, right? Multiply that times 3, that gives us about 900. So that gives us our 1,000 people, basically a third. So this is more, this calculation is probably like 33%, but that's basically what we're looking for. All right, you guys still following me? Okay, so now we have our 1,000 people that have come into our free offer. And those are just the first 2 conversion rates. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, I got a lot more. Okay, so bear with me. Then we've got our wow on welcome offer, which is what I like to call it, versus some people call it a tripwire. Okay, I call it a wow on welcome. That conversion rate is going to be about, or not going to be, but what we aim for is about 30%. Okay, 30% or 5 to 9% of the people who started. All right, so 30%. Here I did kind of some numbers there. So that gives us about 50 people there. And then this talks about the pricing and the break even. So this was for a different session, but these are the main numbers that I want you guys to focus on for this one. Okay. The 1% click-through rate means that you need 300,000 people to see your stuff. So this is where a lot of people, like, they completely miss this, and they're like, oh my gosh, I can't make this much, or I've only this many people signed up. And my response is, you're actually fine. You're in a good spot. Like, if it were any higher, you would be, you would be the exception to the rule. Okay. Just to keep things simple. Okay. So that's what we're looking for. So if you feel like, wow, I'm not getting enough people to click over to, my website, or I'm putting stuff out on social media and I'm not getting people to come over, or I'm running an ad, we're only expecting about 1% of the people who see something to click. And that's actually good. What I like to shoot for, obviously I always want to be above average. So I try to shoot for, 2%, 3%, but I'm not disappointed if it comes out to 1% or 0.8%. I know that the average click-through rate is going to be about 1%, and I'm okay with that. Okay. Now we also have click-through rates on other things. So for example, I know that YouTube will tell you what your click-through rate is for your video in your analytics section and things like that. It's the same concept. It's when someone sees it, do they click it? Okay. So those are the first three: the click-through rate, the landing page conversion rate, which should be about 30%, and then the next offer, which is as soon as they put their email address in, if you're sharing with them what I like to call a wow on welcome offer, then that conversion rate, you notice that it drops even more. Now it's like 5% or 5 to 9%. So it's 30%, around 30. Hopefully you get around 30% of the people who came through, get about that many people to say yes to that wow on welcome. Okay, now this is all stuff that we cover inside of Funnel to Freedom. Funnel to Freedom is going to cover how to create like a very compelling freebie. It's also going to cover how to create that wow on welcome offer, how to connect them together. I cover email funnels, text message funnels, website funnels, payment funnels, all of the things. So it's a great starter program. Okay. All right. Sandra asks, how can we measure these numbers with Facebook analytics gone? We're running ads. It's easy. You would calculate them yourself especially for these first numbers. Okay. So for the click-through rate, they are going to give you your reach or views. So that tells you how many people actually saw it. Okay. And then they will also tell you how many people clicked. So all you have to do is divide those two numbers, right? So the clicks go on top because it's click-through rate. So the clicks go on top. So let's say you got 10,000 people saw your ad, or 10,000 people were reached, and 10,000 people clicked. You have 100% click-through rate. Let me do another example just to make sure. 5,000 people clicked, 10,000 people saw your ad. You have a 50% click-through rate. Okay. Then for your landing page, it's important to have a custom conversion for that page, so that when someone lands on this page, that means that they actually converted. They gave me their email address. They did the thing that I wanted them to do. And you also need to lock them out of being able to access that page again, so we don't double count. And so same thing there. So you would say, based on the number of clicks, so clicks is going to go on the bottom. What is my landing page conversion rate? So the emails are going to go on the top because that's the percentage you want to know. So if you got 100 emails and 300 people came to the page, or you got 300 clicks and you got 100 emails, that's a 30% conversion rate. So those are easy to calculate. So those are based on the ones that I've shared already: click-through rate, our landing page conversion rate. And then for the immediate upsell, then we know, okay, how many people came to the page and then how many people purchase. That will give you so the people that purchase go on top, and then how many people came to the page go on the bottom. And that percentage, when you divide that percentage will give you your conversion rate for your upsell. Okay. Okay. So we've only done 3 of these. All right. So the next thing is what I like to call a checkbox offer. So with the checkbox offer, that is, someone is about to make their purchase. They've typed their credit card in, they've typed their, name, their email, their address, zip code, all those things. And they have committed to making that initial purchase. Before they click submit, you have a little box that says, would you also like this? It's kind of like would you like fries with your burger? It's like that. It's a sometimes called an OTO. I call it a checkbox offer because it keeps it simple. Okay. So the checkbox offer, typically if someone's already checking out, you should expect to get or aim for about 50%. Okay. So about 50% of people would go after and accept the checkbox offer. That's one of the easiest ones. It's literally like leaving money on the table if you don't have a checkbox offer. Almost every single one of my main product purchases has a checkbox offer. I mix and match them as required. Sometimes I'll take stuff that I've done from like live streams or content if I need to create like a special bundle or a special packet. 9 times out of 10, I'm going to have a checkbox offer. Okay. Because that's 50%. That's literally like one person's going to say yes. The next person's going to say no, yes, no, yes, no. And if you don't have it there, you're leaving money on the table. So that's around 2% of the people who started, right? So it's still fairly small, but based on the people who have already said, I want to buy, that's 50% of those people. All right. And I'm going to copy and paste all of this into the chat also. So just bear with me. All right. Then I put examples. I don't have marketing averages for these. All I have is the numbers from my funnels and what I see in terms of if I make the funnel longer and I say, okay, great, your purchase has been complete. Would you also like this program? Would you like this program? Would you like this program? And those are, I consider those and call those upsells. So for upsell number 1, my averages are around 10%. So this is not based on the starting number. This is based on of the people who have already determined to purchase. So let's say I had 100 people who decided to buy, 10 people would say yes to upsell number 2. Upsell number 1. And then I have upsell number 2, which is about 5% a conversion rate. So you come to that even if you don't get number 1. So it's not dependent. This percentage is not dependent on the first percentage. So that's the same 100 people, about 5 people will say yes to that. And I recently added an upsell number 3. And so far we've got 1% conversion rate on that. So of the 100 people, 1 person would say yes to that. Those percentages, like I said, I don't have industry averages on those percentages, but I share those to demonstrate that the percentage of people that are going to say yes, the longer your funnel is, it's going to drop as you continue to go. But if you have additional offers that you want to include in your funnel, like there's no reason to not include those. Okay. If you're just trying to grow your email list, you should get paid to grow your email list. And therefore you should have a wow on welcome offer. When you have a wow on welcome offer, it allows you to spend money to grow your email list. So that's how I've essentially built my entire business, is by having that wow on welcome offer so that I never have to pay out of pocket for ads. If I spend $100, I make $100. And therefore my ad budget is only limited by the number of people that Facebook can find for me. Honestly, right now, like my ads have a learning limited thing on it, and it's like they literally just can't find anybody else. So I have to get more creative with my targeting and what I'm offering. So if you want to grow your email list and grow your audience, you should still get paid to do that. Because with business, there's a cost to acquire a customer. And if you can cancel that cost out on the front end, then like all the other income that comes in on the back end is like gravy on a biscuit. Okay, let me continue to swing through this. All right, so now we're coming to the actual sales of, let's say you have organic traffic. So the percentages that I was showing you before is like a funnel that's been proven out with ads, and there's like thousands and thousands of offers that have, or people have gone through that funnel. So then I grabbed some cart conversion rates to see, like on average, like if I send traffic organically to a cart, like what's that percentage? In general, I was seeing rates anywhere from like 19 to 25%. So I put an average there of like 20 to 25%. So that's, if you email, 5 people, 1 person goes, they all click and go to the cart, 1 person will say yes. That's basically what that number looks like. And then I looked at, well, what if I'm sending them to a sales page first? A sales page would be, 1 step in between the shopping cart. It's like read the information, then click to say yes and buy. I still saw around a 20% conversion rate once they got to the cart. So whether I was sending an email, then sending them to the cart, or sending an email so that they can read a sales page and then go to the cart, once someone committed to and decided to purchase that item, around 20% of them would actually complete. All right. Okay, 4 more. All right, the live webinar show up rate. So this is for if you're doing a free training and you get people registered and you have 100 people registered. On average, this is industry averages, the show up rate for a live webinar is around 10 to 20%. I know it seems like very, very low, but there are a lot of different reasons for this, not limited to the fact that people sign up for stuff, they forget, they have lives, stuff comes up, they sign up on Sunday, the training's not till Friday, they decide they want to do something different. They're like, oh, I'll catch the replay. So the live webinar show up rate is around 10 to 20% on average. Okay. There are ways that you can bump it so you can get closer to the 20% range. But in general, if you're going to if you're hosting a live webinar and you have 100 people registered, expect to see about 10 to 20 people show up. Okay. Now, that doesn't mean that you like despair. It means that you still have 100 people that signed up to hear from you. And now they're on your email list. And now you can do all these other things as well. Okay. Then we have automated webinar show up rate. So let's assume that you recorded it and it's in a replay fashion now and people can sign up and watch it immediately. Those rates, we're looking around 60 to 90%. All right. So the reason that those are higher is because obviously they were interested right then. They were able to watch it right then. They didn't have to wait for it to be live. They didn't have to check their calendar. They already knew that they wanted to sit down and watch something. And so that's what it showed up right away. And yeah, and then they're able to watch it. Okay. Then we've got the last two, which are email open rates and email click rates. So email open rates expect around 10 to 18%. And this is going to depend on the size of your list. So whenever I share this, I always have someone who says, oh, my open rate is, 50%. And then I ask how many people are on your list. And they answer something like 100 people, 900 people, 2,000 people, something like that. So as your list gets bigger, two things happen. One, you are requesting more information, you're basically making more requests of the email service provider. Instead of saying, hey, can I come into the club with my 100 friends? You're saying, hey, I have 18,000 friends. Can we come into the club? And so now the email service provider has to basically vet each of the people, right? And so it takes longer. I hope that's a easy to visualize example. But as your list gets bigger, the email service provider, or actually the bouncer, which is like Gmail, Hotmail, AOL, Mail, all these places, the email service, yeah, they are ESPs. I call them the bouncer. Whenever I do this example, they have to like vet each person and the email that's going to each person. So as your list gets bigger, you run into that tech issue. But then secondly is as you're growing your list, like people signed up for your list like a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 months ago, or whatever it is. And those leads, right, those emails, they start cooling off where, the person is not as engaged as they were at the very start. And so this is why it's important to continue building your list. Like you don't just have an email list of 10,000 people. You have a list of, 2,000 active people or whatever it is, whatever your open rate is. So that's why it's important to keep up with your list and continue to, do these strategies so you can keep bringing people into your world. Okay. And then the last thing, email click rates, 0.5% to 2%. So this is 0.5% to 2%. That means like you put a link in the email and inside of the email, the person clicks. Usually we're seeing like 0.5%. You should expect or can expect around 0.5% to 2%. Okay. So it looks like it posted it twice. All right. Did you guys see this? I put this in the, I put that in the chat also, so you'll be able to see it there. Okay. That's why I wanted to speed through the other ones because I knew that was going to take me a while. All right. And then the final step is so 5 of these strategies, step 5, strategy number 5 is know what changes to make and only make one change at a time. Okay. Is there a way to get this great information emailed to me? I'm in my car and can't take notes. Yes. If you go to, and this is easy to remember, LaTisha.tv/free and sign up for any of the free trainings there, you'll be on my email list. I send a recap email on Sunday, and I'll send the link again where you can go back to this. Okay. So if you're not already on the email list, LaTisha.tv/free. Okay. All right. So the final step, step 5, know what changes to make and change only one thing at a time. All right. So if you're, and I'm going to go through each of these to tell you how you can get to the higher end of the range of the conversion rate. All right. Before we do that, I'm going to share with you, go ahead and knock this out. About Funnel to Freedom. Okay. So Funnel to Freedom is currently open for enrollment. And the reason that I love this program is it covers basically everything that I share or everything that I've learned in terms of creating sales from an automated funnel. Okay? So I talk about, basically a funnel was what allowed me to quit my job. Okay. This is what we're covering in Funnel to Freedom. I talk about how to get leads through Facebook ads, how to make someone click the buy button, how to write sales copy, how to map out your funnel, how to get people to buy. I talk about pricing. I talk about the exact funnel process. So day 1, do this, day 2, do that, how to fill your funnel with quality leads, the systems you're going to need, the right funnel for a high-end coaching program, the most affordable way to build a funnel, and so on and so forth. I also give you sales funnel templates, tell you how to generate your first set of leads, and then setting up to run on automation. Okay. So if you're interested in Funnel to Freedom, then you're going to love, if you're interested in setting up a sales funnel, you're going to love Funnel to Freedom. All of these things is what we cover in the workshop. So in the main workshop, we cover where to begin your funnel, how to plan the customer journey, like all of these things. Okay. And then I packed it, like jam-packed it with additional training. So we go over website funnels, email funnels, payment funnels, Facebook IG ad funnels, text message funnels. And then I do click-by-click tech guides. I do swipe files. I have a resource guide, a marketing plan. Like it really is jam-packed. So if you're interested and you'd like to learn more about it and potentially enroll, you're going to go to, I think it's LaTisha.tv/funnel. Let me double check. Yep, you'll go to LaTisha.tv/funnel. Okay. Okay, great. Perfect. Cheryl says, I'm so glad I invested in Funnel to Freedom. One of my best investments. Yeah, it's one of my favorite programs because like I said, I love funnels. I love all this nerd stuff that I've already been talking about. And like, I literally just brain dumped into that one. So, and what you guys don't know is actually I created that program because I was taking private clients through this process and they had a lot of these questions. So I was like, oh, okay, let me just answer them all. And then, so now I'm giving you the opportunity, even if you're not a private client, to get all the details on what I would do. All right. How do we improve the click-through rate? If people are not clicking, one of the ways you can improve that is to make the click more compelling. Make sure that you're clear on the wording that person recognizes as, oh, this is solving my problem. Know your unique selling proposition. Change up the image or the video that they're seeing. Like put some curiosity into it so that, they have to click the link in order to go over to it. And, you don't want to get clickbaity because that can have, negative repercussions. But the idea is that you want people to click. And therefore, you're either going to need to include some curiosity or you need to like spell it all out and say, okay, this is in order to get everything, this is where you need to go. All right. For your freebie landing page, if your landing page is only converting at like 10, 12%, which a lot of times happens to clients when they come to me, I do like something very, very simple to get it to bump up is step 1. Stop asking for so much stuff. Like just ask them for their first name, their email address, keep it simple. Step 2 Make sure that that's the only thing on the page that they can actually click. They either give you your email address or they leave the page. Don't put it on, your regular website where there's like all this navigation and footer links and all those other things. So those are like the main things. And then once again, a compelling message, like, is this what the person came here for, right? For your wow on welcome offer, in order to increase the conversion rates on that, make sure you're choosing a shopping cart that's reliable. So I really like ThriveCart. That's what I use. I talk about it inside of Funnel to Freedom, show you how to set it up. Make sure your shopping cart is reliable. Make sure that it has very clean, clear formatting. And for my wow on welcome offer, I only request first name, last name, phone number, zip code, and I think I also have to have country along with that. But that's like 5 pieces of information along with your credit card information, right? So first name, last name, email, phone number, and then your zip, which goes along with the country. Like, it's basically like abbreviated address. That's so that when the credit card goes through, that's like kind of like the minimum information that Stripe needs to verify. They need the zip code. So I make sure to grab the zip code. So that's like a lot of times for some of your low ticket offers, if it's something that's like $27, like people don't want to type in their whole home address. You don't need their whole home address for a digital product. So, make it simple. The only time I request the full address is for my coaching offers, because usually I'm going to, send them I'm either going to send them a gift or we're doing a contract and I need the address to put on the contract. But that's about it. Okay. For the checkbox offer, once again, it needs to be very compelling and it needs to feel like it's a no-brainer, right? Nobody's going to spend $50 to add fries to their burger that they already spent, $5 on. So it needs to be a no-brainer. Okay. Then the next step the next one for upsells 1, 2, and 3, those need to be congruent. Like I said, essentially you're going to get yeses for those just as a matter of the fact that you offered them. But make sure they're congruent. Like, make sure that, you're not offering, so somebody came and they ordered a burger and fries and now they're like, okay, great. Well, how would you like pizza also? It's like, no, I came here for burger and fries and that's what I got. It would make more sense for you to upsell like a milkshake or something like that. Okay. To increase your conversions on the shopping cart, same thing. Reduce the number of items, information that you're asking for, like keep it fairly simple. Make sure that your button, the buy button, is actually your call to action color. So a lot of times people, when they do their branding, I can tell when they've worked with someone who understands conversions, because when they give me their color palette, there's one color that pretty much stands out of the other colors. It also fits in well together, but it stands out. It's the call to action color. So my hair is sticking up. So if I were to show you guys the Funnel to Freedom sales page again, you would notice that, I've got a lot of colors on here, right? So I've got my, brown is one of my colors, this blue, we got this pink, this, mauve, right? Kind of maroon looking color. But notice like the button to enroll is bright pink. That's my conversion color. My conversion color is this pink. Notice also these links down here, these are also pink. Those are my conversion colors, or that's my conversion color. So anytime I want someone to convert, to click, that's the color I'm going to use. Okay, so make sure that you have a conversion color, and that's going to help increase your conversion rates. For your live webinar show up rate, send your reminder emails. Okay, you need to send a minimum of 3 emails. You need to send a minimum of 3 emails. Your email 1 is going to be your hey, we're going live. Your email 2 is we're going to be live in an hour, and your email 3 is we're live now. So those at a minimum, those are the emails that you need to send, but you also should be sending reminder emails prior to. Okay. For your automated webinar, that one is, like I said, it's fairly easy, but same thing with that, like send an automatic email, and then also, sorry, sound like I heard a popping noise. Not sure what that was. Um, like, do I need to duck? All right. And then finally, y'all, today was like some really interesting energy going on today. All right. The final two, email open rates. So to increase the open rates for your email, make sure you have a compelling subject line, right? That it might be curiosity based, but it also, might be something that, it's what your target audience actually wants to hear from you about. Okay. Yes, I use the same conversion color on all my sales pages. That is my conversion color. So it trains that person. When you see that pink, it's time to click. It's a subconscious thing. So if you've got 5 different colors in your color palette, you should be using one specific color for your conversion color every single time. Okay. And then for your click rates, for email, to increase your email click rates, I would recommend minimizing the number of links that you have in your email, because that's going to help, once again, with getting your email actually into that person's inbox. The more links you have, the more it seems like a spammy email, and it's less likely to actually get over there. And on top of that, like, if there's too many things for people to choose from, sometimes they won't choose anything. So for your email click rates, you can typically increase those by removing the number of things they need to click, minimizing images, things like that. If you look at my emails, you'll see a lot of different templates. So you'll see sometimes I have lots of images, sometimes I don't. I test a lot of things all the time. So don't just do it based on what you see me doing, because I'm usually typically testing something. I feel like my family knows that I have a live stream that I do every single week at the same time. It's just like, why are you calling me? All right. And once again, you're only going to change one thing at a time. Okay. So you'll know what changes to make, like this list that I just shared with you, and then change only one thing at a time. So if you are, changing the color on the button, for example, which is kind of like that base example that is always provided, like just change that one. Okay. All right. That is what I have for today. If you guys have additional questions on this, I know this is sort of like an advanced topic, but if you have additional questions on it, please feel free to leave them in the comments below. Let me know if this type of topic, like an advanced type of topic, is something that that you would be interested in having more conversations about, because I do have a couple of additional potential ideas in mind, but I don't want anything to, kind of be too far out there, because I know sometimes that really requires like some more like Q&A and all of that. So I hope this was helpful. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'm going to take care of this, which appears to be some sort of crisis that I'm sure is going to be fine. All right, you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Okay, bye.